Who lives in Fort Myers? One of them.
My mom is south of Fort Myers. My mom is right off of Marco Island, and then my dad is in Ocala. So
Nice.
I was saying I do Thanksgiving with my dad. You know, that's where I was at. I was telling you guys, and I do Christmas with my mom. So
Oh,
I'll go
is
over to
that every
Marco.
year? Or you're just choosing to do that this
No,
year?
it's been that way for every year for a long time. You know, growing up, I would wake up at my dad's for Christmas a lot of times because my stepbrother, my half sister, we would all open presents and stuff, and then come back
Oh,
over to my mom's. But then sometimes I would wake up at my mom's and then open presents and then go over to my dad's real quick to open with them. So they were always real accommodating. It was at the best of both worlds. It was really pretty crazy. But now it's pretty much
oh,
that's it. Thanksgiving at dad's and then Christmas at my mom's. All right, what's
oh.
up? We're live, everybody. What we got? Who's in the comment section? Who
Let
we
me
got?
see. Let me
Okay, Ryan's in the
see.
building. He's not interested in Arizona,
Listen,
New England
Ryan
tonight.
always gonna be there.
Yeah, got the Monday
Ryan,
night
who's
football
playing
game
Monday
tonight.
Night Football?
Arizona, New
Who's
England.
playing?
He's not interested. Yeah,
Arizona and New England. New
yeah,
England Patriots. They used to be good. Are
yeah.
they?
They're scrapping. They're not doing what they used to do with Brady. So no,
Oh,
not so much anymore.
I'm not a huge football fan. I'll watch it, but like, of course, I'm gonna watch like the Super Bowl because Rihanna is the halftime. Like, I'm only there for the halftime. Hey,
Did
Ryan,
they
don't
already
go.
decide? They already decided she's doing halftime this year
Yeah, they decided she
by
is
herself.
doing.
She's
Yeah,
by herself,
well, I'm pretty sure Rihanna's gonna bring on a couple like headliners to some of her songs to
but
join her.
she's the main
But
draw.
she's the main person.
Because in the past they split it up. They had a couple here and there. They were like they did Shakira and J Lo. That didn't work out. I found out
Right.
behind the scenes they weren't happy about that. There was some stuff going on there.
Yeah, some people like the spotlight to themselves instead of
Yeah,
sharing.
you know, I can imagine. I can imagine. Hello, Sarah. You guys are
Sarah's
just
in
joining
there.
us.
Hi,
If
Diane.
you just logging on, just joining us, we're just getting started here. You notice that it's just me and TK chopping it up. We're waiting on Shonda. She's gonna join a little bit later here, any minute actually. She said, but she'll be a
Yeah,
little bit late today. And then Cindy has the
her last
evening
tour.
off. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, she's busy working on her tour,
she's on
so
her last tour.
we'll hold it
Happy
down.
holidays, everybody. Speaking of everybody, Ryan, I want to go ahead and give a couple people. I mean, I'll repeat this again at the end, but just to let you guys know, Shonda's running a little late, like he said. She'll be here in a minute. But next week, Cindy will be back. She is the host. And if you were with us last year, we actually played Happy Holidays, like a Christmas trivia game. So Cindy loves her game night, and I know that's what she's gonna do next week. So make sure you're here. It was so much fun. Like whoever was here last year, do you guys remember when we played the game night, the Christmas version? And it was a lot of fun. So Ryan, you have to get ready for that. Like we had a lot of fun, and I'm competitive, so like I better win.
I'm never ready for y'all, but I'm competitive as well, so I'll bring it.
You better stay ready. You're dealing with three women,
So
three
yeah,
alpha women.
trust me, I've raised by a woman, worked my whole entire career with number women in the education system, so I'm comfortable. Hey, so just to recap, TK, so Cindy will
Yeah.
be hosting next Monday on the 19th, and then the following Monday is the 26th. This is the day after Christmas. We're gonna take that day off.
Yes, we're going to take that day off. We're all with our families. A
Yeah,
lot of us are traveling, and I'm pretty sure you guys are traveling. We want everybody to enjoy their families during this Christmas holiday. And then we won't be back Ryan into the new year.
right.
Like,
And then
seriously.
the New Year's Eve is on a Saturday, so New Year's Day is Sunday. The first is a Sunday, so we'll take that Monday off to celebrate
Yeah.
New Year's as well. New Year's Eve and New Year, and then so the 9th will be back, and you'll be hosting it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Shonda. Shonda's bringing
Shonda
us,
hosts on the 9th.
yeah.
All right, so it'll
Shonda's
be
bringing us back into the new year.
Shonda on the 9th. Okay, all
Yeah.
right. So,
It
but
just
we will be
gives
here next week. We'll be here next week for
Yeah,
sure.
it just gives a lot of people time to travel. Then even when I don't know about you, Ryan, like even during that holiday break, like do you get a break off during the Christmas break and then you go back to class? Like
Oh
how
yeah,
is it? How
oh
is
yeah,
it in school? You guys have how long
yeah.
off over
Well,
Christmas?
I give my last. I give 2 final exams today, and I give 5 of them tomorrow. Well, 4 tomorrow, and then I put grades in, and I'm done. And then the first day of
Nice.
class is that Wednesday we come back, the 4th, I think it is. And then that's when the new spring semester starts. So they're done with their classes. They just have to do their final exams. And then I have to put their grades in the computer. They're due by
Nice.
Friday or Saturday. And then we start fresh. We start over.
Nice. Is
Yeah.
anybody traveling? Diane, are you guys staying? Diane, are you here or in Georgia? I'm not, I don't remember. Ryan, are you and Katrina leaving? Or are you guys staying here? Sarah, let us know. Are you guys traveling for the holidays or are you staying? I'll probably ask that question later on just to see what everybody's doing to get prepared for the holidays.
All right,
Um,
TK, you're on comments tonight. All right, since you're already
I'm
locked
on
in.
comments.
All right, you're locked in.
We're gonna make Shonda sing since she wanna be tardy for the party.
Yeah, exactly. Should we kick this thing off officially or what?
Yeah, well,
All right.
we're gonna keep it moving. The show goes on.
All right, let's get it going. All right, all right, all right. Welcome everybody who is joining us this evening. As always, appreciate your loyalty. Thank you for tuning in once again on a Monday evening to Talk Miami Talk Show. I am the Ryan David, your host for the evening. I am joined by the one and only TK Owens.
Woo woo.
And yes, it is just us two right now because Cindy is off. She's working, and Shonda has been dealing with a lot. She's working on some things with Elijah. She's hustling. She's grinding. She would be joining us though any second. Any update on Shonda, TK?
I did just text her, so let's see
Okay.
when she'll be there. I
All
can
right.
go into the comments. Sarah actually said that mom wants to go to Tampa. Let me bring you in. I'll give everybody's whereabouts. Mom wants to go to Tampa, and I want to stay home. I have no holiday spirit this year. Sarah, okay, you need to call me because we're gonna have to bring that back up. We're gonna have some. We're gonna have some good spirit. Let's see. Diane said that she is in Central Florida. Is it getting cool up there, Diane? Let us know. All right, and that's
What else
good.
we got? We got here. Tamisha says, "Good evening, everybody."
I went to school with Tamisha. Hey, Tamisha.
There you go.
Good evening, everybody.
All right,
Ryan, let
everybody's
us
dialed
know.
in.
Yeah.
Listen, I got a couple questions tonight. That's really my topics started with questions, and they're kind of open ended. And I just want to see where everybody's head is at. But I want the participation from the audience, and whether you're live with us right now and you're listening, and we can show some of your responses, or you're listening to the replay here, whether it's on YouTube or anywhere you can listen to your podcast, you can stream us, Talk Miami Talk Show. You listen to the replay. I still would like you to leave a comment, even if you're listening to the replay, because the more feedback, the better, especially about topics like this, where we can understand a little bit more about what we're asking. So I'll give those of you listening right now just a little teaser. Tamisha says she's in Charlotte, North Carolina, by the way.
Awesome.
Ryan's doing his thing. He says he's taking little man to the farms for his birthday tomorrow.
Oh,
Okay.
Berry Farms, you're coming over here by my house. You better stop by.
What farms? What farms, Ryan? What kind of farms you got going
It
on?
must be Berry Farms. I'm way out here in the Redlands, Ryan. You never been to my house.
Never been to your house and never been to Shonda's house. And if we're going to upgrade Shonda's equipment, I'm going to have to go over there. So let's set
Yeah,
that up. I'll go over there and set her up,
absolutely.
get her little corner straightened out, technologically speaking.
Yes.
So I'm gonna run the ticker at the bottom. All right. My first topic tonight, little teaser. I won't totally introduce the topic now. I'll give Shonda a few minutes to join in so I can preface this a little bit for us to discuss it. But the first topic is going to be, what does it mean to be an American? And obviously we can go to some technical definitions, but I just want to see what people have to offer in the comment section and think about, for you, obviously it's going to be an answer for you, but I'm trying to get you to think about, maybe generally speaking, if you could offer up something in your opinion, in your humble opinion, obviously, what would it be that's like a common thread? So short, sweet, whatever your first response is, obviously from your own perspective, your own point of view. Got a little bit of things to cover, a few things to cover, a little bit to jump into here with some specifics that I've noticed from conversations that I've had about it or whatnot. But there's a little teaser for those of you. How many we got? 10, 11 people already joined us, logged in today. A little teaser for you. I want to hear in the comments. I'll read them and we'll share them if they pop up. So what does it mean to
Yeah.
be an American to you? Just your first response, first thought, first feelings about that? Just personally speaking, what do you think it is? Obviously, it's a big topic, and there's a lot of ways you can go with it, but it's just open ended, just to invite you all. Then I'll explain a little bit more so why I'm curious about this, where I'm
Yeah,
coming from.
that's what I want to know. Like, I
Yeah,
wonder, where did you get this from, Ryan?
yeah, just not anywhere in particular. I tell you, do I just jump right into it right now? And if Shonda joins us, she
Shonda
joins us,
just
or what?
texted me. She says she's on. I said, "Are you coming?" She goes, "Yes, yes." So she's
Okay,
jumping on.
so
But just
she'll be here.
maybe tell us, why did you come up with this?
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and officially drop
Yeah.
this on everybody. So topic number one is, what does it mean to be an American? And again, this is not just for me, you, and Shonda to talk about and to throw around. I want to hear a little bit from the audience about this. But so the backstory on this idea, this question, I should say, and the idea I got, I'll be honest, it's probably, the more I thought about it, the more I realized it's something that I've thought about previously anyway. But I'm watching the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
This is an international sporting event, and the nature of the event is for teams to represent their country. And so as I'm watching this World Cup, which I'm a big fan of the World Cup, and so I'm watching the World Cup, and I'm just thinking about the patriotism for each of these countries. And I'm watching these countries. I'm looking at Morocco with the upset. I'm looking at France is there again. I'm looking in the stands, and I'm seeing the crowd. I'm looking at Argentina, and I'm seeing all these, and I don't know, obviously I'm leaving some countries out, but I'm seeing all these countries that
Mm-hmm.
are represented by their team, but there's fans in the crowd. And I think about America, and I think about, well, where do we unite, if you will?
Mm-hmm.
Where do we unite and agree on when it comes to representing and standing for and embodying our country, so to speak? So I wondered, what does it mean? And when I say that, I guess what I'm after is, can we find something, a common thread that we can agree on, that binds us and that joins us? And the reason why, I think, is because you look around in today's day and age, man, and just, we ain't got nothing in common anymore, man. We're having a hard time finding things we have in common and getting on the same page. There's nothing wrong with differences. We should celebrate differences. But if all we are is different, then who are
Mm-hmm.
we? You know what I mean? And so I thought, at least, no matter what we got going on that's different about us, if
Right.
we live here and we represent America and we're from America and we consider ourselves, that's a big key. Consider yourself American. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What does it mean to be American? And so what do you think it means to you? And what do you think maybe that are some things that you think maybe we could or should agree on that would help unite us, if at least for no other reason, as people that represent or from the same country? That's where I was coming from, TK.
Right. Wow. I'm with Ryan. And when I say that, I mean, I know you're Ryan, the other Ryan.
Ryan, in the
To,
comments.
to me, this is the home of the free. I mean, we have it. To me, a lot of countries don't have the things that we probably take for granted. They don't have what we have. Just even democracy versus dictatorship.
Right.
So I'm all for Ryan in knowing that us living here, we have freedom. And we all could just look at Britney Spears to even talk about how, when your freedom is taken away, what that feels like.
You meant
But
Griner. I know you meant Griner. You say Spears because she's all
no,
over
no,
most
no,
of
no.
it.
I'm talking about Britney Spears with her
Oh, freedom with the oh, my bad. Yeah, I can see where you're going with
yes,
this.
how
What's that
her
called? What was that called?
courtship or whatever. I
No, it was
forgot what
called
it's called. Her dad took away all her rights. If there is a word for it, don't make me
damn,
go to the
yeah, I watched
dictionary.
the documentary and all things. Shonda, what did they do to Britney Spears? It was a court appointed
What, her
oh,
dad took away all her freedom. What is it called, Shonda?
somebody help
A,
us.
a legal babysitter.
No, no,
You
no,
know
no, no. But
what?
what's
If
the
she
help us
can
out in
say
the comments? What's that called? The legal term for what they did?
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna
Yeah,
look it
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. My bad. I thought you was talking about Brittany Griner got her freedom taken away, but you talking about Brittany in
Well,
terms
her
of like.
too. They both did.
But I get, my bad. I see what you're coming from. Yeah, that was a court decision that her dad basically.
Yeah.
What's that damn? Not apprenticeship. Um,
Oh my God,
Conservatorship.
I know.
conservatorship. Yeah, yeah. Whatever
Yes, thank you,
that
Shonda.
legal situation is. Yeah, yeah. So go ahead,
Yeah.
TK. Sorry, I was just trying to clarify. I want to make sure we weren't talking about Brittany when we were or Griner when we were talking about Spears.
No, that's my answer. Is what makes us different is that we're the home of the free and home of the brave. I mean, do we really think about the national anthem and all the words? Shonda, you actually sing the national anthem as a professional singer. Do you believe in what you're saying?
You didn't make me lose my check.
Hold on, Shonda. Let me introduce what she say about a check. You ain't writing my check.
I said she ain't gonna make me lose my check.
There it is. So Shonda, let me preface what was you joined us late. Welcome, Shonda. Everybody, Shonda's in the building.
Look at this
I just
girl.
want to. I was prefacing the question a second ago. I was prefacing it, and it doesn't have to be too deep because obviously with America, there's a lot to talk about. Obviously, and I'm not trying to open up any cans of worms. I'm actually trying to the contrary. I'm trying to tease this out and see if we can agree on anything. And I'll just say this right now. From what I see, we are pretty far from agreeing on what this is, unfortunately, because I think that a couple of buddies of mine did agree that the first response, and at least thing that you should acknowledge, should be what TK just talked about, which was freedom. But Shonda, I'm asking about what does it mean to be an American? Because I'm curious. I'm looking at the World Cup. I was watching the World Cup and how the fans really there cheering on their team that represents their country. Shonda, you sleep or you reading something?
I'm listening.
Oh, just double check. I know it's a long day. Maybe you zoned out on me.
Make sure my ringer is off. I literally ran in here and sat down.
I know. Thank you for being here.
I'm trying to make sure my ringer's off and everything.
No, I just want to preface it. I want to give you a fair chance to answer the question. Okay. And I think this is some kind of crazy, controversial topic that I'm trying to start, because it's not that. It's the opposite. I just want to see, like, when you think about yourself as an American, and I guess this is what I could do. So whether it's Jamaica or Bahamas, like your roots, like we're talking about your ethnicity and your roots. We could talk about the country of origin and that sort of thing, and a culture that follows there. But like, I'm looking for what unites us as Americans. So when I say, what does it mean to be an American, Shonda? What I mean is, in your own opinion and experience, maybe, but also just in your opinion, what maybe we should or could agree upon or consider that we all have in common. I'm looking for commonality, but I'm also looking for, an individual response. What does it mean to be American? Like I say, we could get technical with it. If you're born here, you're American. Yeah, sure. Technically speaking, that's not what I'm looking for, though. That's a technicality. I'm looking for, at the crux, the spirit of the country. What does it mean if you're American and I'm American? What is that bonds us, that binds us together? What is that commonality? That's what I mean.
Let me just say why I like being an American. I just became a citizen rather. So I had to learn all the stuff I didn't know. Don't ask me to repeat it now because it's gone out of my brain. But I love being here. Well, I love being an American because just from we're a melting pot, right? And there's so many different diversities in America. That's a good thing. And we get to learn about other people and their countries and their cultures and and how they celebrate such things like maybe Christmas. And I honestly was talking to someone today about them coming from, like, I've learned or found out about people who literally had to go over the river and through the woods to get here. And just to come to our country, just to come here and be an American. And I think for them to want to come here so bad, to risk their lives, it has to be horrible over there to get here. And I appreciate the fact that we don't have to do that in order to be quote unquote free, whatever that may be. For me, and also in my country, Bahamas, the medical care is scarce. The hospitals are scarce. Well, for Freeport, they got one main hospital. If everybody full, and then during COVID, I'm sure it went crazy. We have more of options to select from where we will choose to go to, as far as our health care. So for me, like certain things like that, we're able to be free when it comes to our religion. You could serve the pavement in the road if you choose to. Whatever you want to, whatever you consider your religion, that's what you can do. You have freedom of religion. So there's a lot that I think that we have the ability to do freely. That's for me.
Yeah, I think freedom's a big one. And so I think you could have obviously a deeper conversation we could have about freedom, but I don't think Sarah's in the comments and she said, do we really have freedom? I don't think that should even be a question. There, if you don't understand or don't know what the freedoms are that we have, then get informed. And I think that you all are speaking about two things. One, coming from a place that's more difficult than we have here to escape those hardships, because we have more opportunities here how How would you say that, Shonda, coming from a country where you don't have the resources per se, or you don't have the infrastructure, or you don't have the government support? Those things, I can see
Right.
why there's an appeal here, but it's deeper than that too. It's not just that. It's not just a place to come to get, better stuff. There's something else there. And I was talking to my boys about that. And I think that the freedoms that we have fundamentally are what make things possible for us. And I look at America as the place where it's possible. And I think that the conversation can get crazy and can get kind of hectic, obviously, when we start talking about different individual experiences and people who don't feel like they have particular freedoms. But as a whole, what the country offers is freedoms for possibility and what the opportunities are for individuals to take advantage of. And I think what the challenge is, just as a side note, I think one of the challenges that we get into here is when we talk about this country, because we're here and we're in this country, you very rarely have people that come from a separate country or a different country that will be complacent necessarily about particularly this country. It's the people who are here and have always been here. To the contrary, people who come here from other countries, they actually will adopt America as their new home very oftentimes because they're proud to be here. And I think that pride has been misunderstood also. Another conversation. But just talking about what's possible here as individuals, what happens a lot of times when people talk about America is we get hung up on being inside of this country and being here. And a lot of times you can't see things from the inside. It's only when you get some perspective and some objectivity about this country where you really do understand what exactly it has. Is we complain about the things that are wrong with this place, which there are some, obviously.
Okay.
But if we lose sight of what is right about it and what's possible and what binds us together as far as the opportunities that we all have because we're here and we share this place, then it starts to be comparison of our flaws to the specific narrow viewed positives of other places. Because that's what a lot of times what we'll do is we'll find something good about another country and we'll compare that one good thing about another country to all the bad things that are going on here. And I think that that's not just naive, that's a little bit ignorant. But as far as freedom is concerned, that should probably be the fundamental tenet. Here, I will say this, though, and I'll give it back to you, TK. I think that when we say freedoms, that also needs to be a discussion because that needs to be kept in context because with freedom comes responsibility. I think one of the issues that we have in this country is people have misunderstood freedom to do whatever you want, to whoever you want, whenever you want, however you want to. And freedom is not without consequences. So we're not talking about freedom to do harm to others or freedom to take advantage of others. Really, the freedom is fundamentally for the individual. It's for the individual to take advantage of. I want to practice the religion that I want to practice. I want to badmouth the government that is my government without being killed. You can do that here. And many people do, and they don't realize this is one of, if not the only place in the world that you can do that with no consequences. So when we talk about freedoms, it's not only freedom to do those things and exercise those things, it's freedom for you. You have opportunities as an individual that you would not otherwise have with other barriers there. Now, of course, there's barriers for individuals, particular individuals that still exist in every area, in all countries, obviously for all of us. But generally speaking, I was just curious about what the common thread is and if we could agree on that, because I'll just read to you a couple of things. Just really briefly, I put this as a poll on my Instagram. And it's clear that, especially with the younger generation, I have a lot of college students that took the poll, obviously, but just a few of them here, they have no idea what the answer to this question is. I mean, they really don't. And I think that that's a problem because, again, like I said, we're so different. Shonda said it, we're a melting pot. But if we have no fundamental similarities, if we have nothing fundamentally in common at all, then really who are we as a nation? I think that that's where the fabric starts to erode. So we can be different. We can be very different and we can have differences. But I think that what cuts through all of that, and
that we were born here.
No, because everyone's born where they're born. If that's the only thing you have in common, then that's not really something that really.
I mean, I'm giving you one of them, but I mean,
what is that worth? What is the value?
That we're an American because we were born in the United States of America. That's
technically speaking, but in terms of like, what does that mean from a spirit, in terms of the spirit of who you are and what this country is? Because this country has boundaries and borders to make it a place to be born. What does that mean? So like deeper than just the technical where you were born, what does it mean? What do you globally, what does it mean when you say I'm American? Oh, just that you were born there? Okay, cool. That's technically true, but I'm wondering is there anything else that binds us? Anything else that bonds that can create a bond together? So no definitive answer. Different for a lot of people. That's one
Right.
response, and you can say that. But then again, we can find differences. I'm asking if there's anything that you can state that maybe could be agreed upon. To be born in the U.S., with the exception on having freedom from when you get old, from when you're getting older. I'm not really sure what that one was about. Loving your country and all of its people, no matter what, being all inclusive and tolerating. Also, you might not even be you might not be of the same faith or of the same beliefs or views as other people, but the fact that we can say, look, you're welcome here, and we'll tolerate our differences, and they're going to be accepted as you're also American, even if there's bickering and arguing and disagreeing. Having autonomy over yourself as an individual as well. And I think that gets back to the individual. But and then you have like a technical definition that talks about a couple of keywords that I'll leave you all with this. Unless I lost it. Did I lose it? I lost it. It talked about patriotism. It talked about freedom, obviously, and patriotism. I think patriotism has been lost in translation too, because I think, fair enough, a lot of people, when they think about this country and what they're patriotic and what they stand for, that includes the history. And for a lot of people, history sucks. For a lot of people, when they look at their role in history, it's not one to be proud of per se. And so understandably so, but as a whole, from where the country was when it started, how it developed, where it is, but more importantly, like I said, what we're capable of doing going forward, more so than any other nation on the planet, that's really what I think you could be patriotic about. So I was just curious, is there anything in the comments as far as what they threw out there? I was just curious about what it means. And I'll say this, regardless of what we get as an answer, I think it's something that everybody should be thinking about. Because when you think about where we live on the world stage. We live as a part of this globe. We feel kind of encapsulated a lot of times, like it's the U.S. and the rest of the world, but they're looking at us just like we know about them. And if we aren't united on something on some front, then of course, we will eventually fraction from within. So I'm asking the question, start thinking about, who are we as Americans? Like, what at the end of the day, what can we agree on and come together on? Because if it's nothing, we're in big trouble. And so start thinking about maybe what it is that we could agree on. And you don't have to have the answer right now today, but that's where I was coming from in terms of what does this mean? Because I think there's an identity crisis taking place on a lot of levels for us as Americans, on a lot of levels. But one of them is, who are we as a people, as a nation, as a country?
I mean, did you answer it?
No, I didn't give a formal answer. I alluded to a lot of the things that I think I agree with, Shonda, but yeah.
Can you give us your answer?
First of all, I was like, where'd you get this question from, Ryan? But yes, Ryan, what makes you an American? How about that?
It's not so much what makes me an American, because that's where I think you'll get the individual differences. Okay. My question is, what is it to be an American? And that answer for me would be, what is it, I think, for everybody to be an American? Like, my answer would be generalized to everybody. And I think to be an American, you would have to accept, first of all, you'd have to accept the fact that you're American, because if you're in denial about that and you just live here, then you have a bigger issue. But I think to be American, I think it is to have the privilege and the option and the luxuries of the freedoms that we just spoke of, which we do.
Yeah.
That's a big one, I think. It's also, again, the responsibility to do what we can to uphold those freedoms for the people here and the people to come. So I think it's not just exercising the freedom, it's also doing what we can to support everyone else and support everyone else to have the freedoms and make sure that they're upheld. So I think it's a matter of making sure that the fundamentals of what this country is and how we've gotten to where we are from a freedom standpoint stay intact and in place for us to continue to have the potential to be great and do great things, unlike any other nation on the planet as of right now, in terms of potential. Now, that being said, this isn't a conversation to neglect the areas in which we need to make some changes and correct some things and make them better. It is just basically to say, hey, what is it that binds us as people of the same nation? And what's the common thread that runs through us, quote, as Americans? If we are, like, go back to what I said, if we were in a soccer stadium or we were rallying around, each other on a global stage, whether it's time of war or time of celebration, what are you actually, celebrating that we have in common? And I'm looking for a commonality among the sea of differences. And so, Shonda, what I said before you got on was I was watching the World Cup, and looking at all of these fans really cheering on their team and really representing their country and that sort of thing. So I was thinking about us, you know, and I think about times like 9/11 and other times where tragedy is what really makes us remember that, oh, hey, man, we kind of live on the same block here. So no matter how we're different, it's us. What do we have in common? And are we going to fight for each other? And then I think a lot of the other freedoms just completely get taken for granted because at this point, like I said, we've exercised them for so long. We don't realize they don't have the context and the objectivity of how much other people are struggling. Gotten complacent and take them for granted. Go ahead, TK.
Do you see Katrina's comment there?
Yeah, she says it means to be one as a country, to help and support each other when we can and be kind always. Not that everyone does that, but I agree. That's what it means. I mean, support and to exercise these freedoms, but also support other people's rights as well.
How about, I probably am reaching, but like, does other countries look at us as number one or like trendsetters or trailblazers? Like we're the first to do everything because we have the means and the money and the education to do so?
Well, that's a tricky question because you could find the naysayers and they would find statistics that speak to where we are right now. And right now, globally, we don't rank number one on a lot of areas, but you're talking about right now. I think if you look at the history of the world over the last 500 years and you look at civilization and you look at advancements in technology, you look at advancements in individual opportunities, you look at the advancement of the government per se, in those areas compared to the rest of the world, I think that hands down, it's almost not even open for discussion, although I'm always willing to discuss, but it's almost self-evident that we're a very, very young country as well. Very, very young. We're like a teenager compared to the rest of the world that's grown. So what we've done with the time that we've had, I think far exceeds anything that any other country has ever done in terms of advancements in those areas of personal freedoms. That's what I look at, personal freedoms and what we've done. That's why we were, and hopefully still are to some extent, are a beacon of hope and a light for the rest of the country to see what's possible. That's what I mean by how do they look at us? Well, historically, what we did was, what we could to see what's possible for our people. Right now, there's a couple of different views of America right now. Are they looking at us as a country that is divided internally, and that's having some fraction, and that's weakening us as a state, as a people? Like I say, if we don't know who we are and we don't know what commonalities we have, we're in big trouble. So we could be seen like that. But globally, I don't think that it's, and I think that you could find stats, but I don't think that really not going to bring that into the conversation. Just globally, what we're looked at as far as what we've accomplished and what we've achieved and where we are historically to this point in time with as young as a country as we are, and what we have, opportunities that are afforded. You falling apart on this again, Shonda? What happened this time?
I hit the laptop and almost fell back.
Hold it together. Yeah, that's a tricky one, TK.
Falling down.
Right.
That's a tricky one, TK, where we are and how they view us and how they see us. But again, we don't need the rest of the world to see us in a particular way for us to decide, hey, what is it that we have in common? What is it that we are going to stand on together, regardless of how different we are? So I was just throwing it out there for that reason.
Yeah, no. I'm just grateful that, I just hear and know of other countries that they could shut down their cell phone usage. They can't do this. They have to be like, we just really, truly, I'm just going to go back to being free. We really do have freedom here.
Right. And exactly. And if we can't do anything else except, anything else besides, like, we need to be able to agree on that at least and appreciate that and have that be that. But like, again, I think that there's a lot of privilege for people internally that are, they're celebrating the rights and the freedoms that they have, and they don't even realize it, whether it be to criticize the country, to criticize the government, whatever the criticisms are, they're free to criticize. Ironically enough, that is exactly the point. The people who have a hard, but the people who have an issue with this country are free to voice their issues because of the way this country is set up.
But not without consequences. But that's a whole nother.
What kind of consequences, Shonda? Social media consequences? What kind of consequences? You're not going to get your head cut off by the government.
Not by the government, but people will
can't say what you want to say. They're going to cancel
his job for kneeling if he doesn't agree with what's his name with the afro.
Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
Right. He doesn't believe in the
cancel culture.
No, I take it back. I don't want to put words in. That's not what he said. He did not like the unfair treatment of African Americans, so he chose to kneel.
Right.
But because he chose to kneel, he was outed. And that's that's like I said, I don't want to get into so deep into that, but that's when I say free. That's what I mean, because yes, he should be able to say how he feels and not support that until things get right. He didn't say, "Oh, I think the anthem is bull, and I don't respect our military. I don't respect." That's not true. That's not what he was saying. But of course, people who like to be radical and over the top with stuff is going to take, "Oh, he don't respect the flag. He doesn't respect this." That's
But
not
even
what he's saying.
even with all those opinions, Shonda.
But instead of listening to what his real argument is, we're going to deflect and to call him someone who doesn't like America. And that's when people speak about really being free, what they mean about, do we really have freedom? Because, and like I said, when TK asked me, I'm not gonna lose my check because I say how I feel.
So he does. So he does have the freedom. He did have the freedom, and he does have the freedom to kneel when the national anthem plays. He just didn't get employed by a team so he could kneel on a national stage. But nobody threw him in jail because he kneeled. Do you understand what I'm saying about the freedom to do it?
He didn't get thrown in jail, but there were consequences.
They took away all his endorsement deals.
But if you say something that a boss doesn't like to you, you get fired at the job. See what I'm saying? When we say freedom, we got to be real careful what we mean by freedom. Of course, it's
consequences. But Ryan, if that's not freedom, because what he said had no effect on the job. He didn't say, "Oh, I don't like my boss." He didn't say, "Oh, this company is horrible." He said,
"My point is the job, the boss."
He said, "I don't like African Americans being killed by police officers."
Correct.
And I should lose my job for that.
We could have a conversation about Kaepernick's message being misunderstood. Separate conversation. The fact is, though, he was at his place of employment deciding to kneel during the anthem, correct? And his place of employment said, we're not going to keep you around, because at the place of employment, the employer wasn't a fan of that because of their image, and that's corporate America business. That is the decision of corporate America too, right? If we're looking at it.
Your personal feelings should not affect my, if I'm not doing something that's not in my job description, like if it's not a moral clause when it comes to them being athletes, then it shouldn't be. That's his personal feelings of the anthem.
My point is the decision. Go ahead.
So if the boss feels, "Oh, I don't like that you're kneeling because you don't agree with Black people being killed," what does that say?
Regardless of what the interpretation was, the employer saying, "I'm not going to employ you if you do that," that's the employer's decision, right?
And what happened after that? No one else employed him either.
So okay, but that's still an employer's decision. But I'm talking about rights. I'm talking about human rights, being able to do something. That's all I'm talking about. This is a matter of what the stage is that he's being able to do it upon.
There's consequences to every decision we make.
That's what I said. Not without.
That's the whole point. That's what I'm saying. Freedom is not without consequences or responsibility. So when you say freedom, just be clear. We're talking about the freedom to do things, not the freedom to do whatever you want, wherever you want, with no consequences. That's not what we're talking about. Freedom's to express yourself as an individual. But if you're a representation of a business or of a company or of an organization, it's not just you anymore.
All right.
If the organization doesn't agree with kneeling, and you're in a reflection of the organization because you're wearing a uniform, now you represent me. We have a conflict. You got to go. I don't agree with you. So that's not him taking away his rights per se. Well, he just can't do it in that uniform. What'd you say?
A whole nother, because I had
a whole nother conversation.
But you understand, that's not taking away his rights. That's just saying, if you're going to kneel, do it on your own, not wearing my uniform, because I don't agree with that. That's all it was. Keep kneeling. Just not in my uniform is the way I took that. Now, like I said, I agree. That's a different conversation as to whether they understood his approach, but that's not for us to say. I don't own the team. I don't own the league. Like, that's not, you know what I'm saying? He still has the right to do it. He just doesn't have the platform or the uniform to wear while he's doing it, but he still has the right in this country. Anybody else does too. So I think that's where we have to start fine tuning when you say freedoms. Yes. However, there's some nuance to what the consequences may be. That doesn't mean your rights taken away. There will be consequences, sure. But being canceled is a lot better than being hung or having your head chopped off for disrespecting your government or your country or whatever the case is. And that's what I mean by, let's keep these things in context here relative to what's going on other places. You're not kneeling. I mean, you're not even talking about some of these things that are happening here in this country without having fundamental, punishments that are across the board. So context, I think, is important. And I think obviously to focus on what we have that other countries don't have at our leisure is also true, because we get somewhat spoiled having only known what's happening here. And you ladies have already pointed out, Shonda, you pointed out where a lot of people are coming from. They're coming from the mud. They're coming from the struggle. They're coming from hard times, and they're coming here because there's more opportunity here. So I just think to keep that in perspective relative to the rest of the world, is it without flaws? Is there not room for improvement? That's not the conversation. It's about what are we that binds us to, TK?
No, I could just completely. I'm gonna just keep going back to the only answer that I think for me that makes sense is that freedom. But then again, I mean that's just life. Everything, every decision that we make is gonna be consequences.
Right.
So, like you said, you know,
What is the severity
canceling.
of the consequence in this country versus the severity of the consequence in other countries? That's what I think we
Oh
could do for
yeah,
perspective.
you'll actually get your left leg cut off or something,
Yeah,
But I mean, then again, we have come a long way. There was a time. Some of us,
correct,
when you talk history, we don't want to go
correct,
back to that history. I mean,
correct.
MLK, he will boycott and still had to go to jail to fight for
Absolutely.
freedom,
That's
to
why I
fight
say
for
that's why I say there's a
humanity.
complicated history here, which you have to take into context for some people who do not
Yeah,
feel like it's been the way it is today, always, which
because
it
it
has
hasn't
not
been
been
fair for many of us.
for sure. So,
Yeah,
Shonda, I was just trying to see what people see and what they view and what they appreciate and what they think maybe we all have in common with this country. And Diane's right. We were hung in this country. We meaning people were, and black
hmm
folks, I think she's talking about in particular. And so that's what I mean about terms of it's complicated because you have to consider certain aspects of certain people's experience and the past. And that is what we have to
yeah,
consider as well in the grand scheme of things. But if we just look at where we are today, and if nothing else, what's possible going forward because of fundamentally whether it's been, I think, who was it that Katrina said, whether or not that's actually happened or not is a different story, but fundamentally what the possibilities are that are there. So I was just
yeah,
curious because I can't really, I haven't really had that conversation much, but I haven't really heard a definitive answer like you might hear from some other folks who represent other nations, other lands, and they're really
mhm,
proud to be where they're from for particular reasons, regardless of how difficult it is because of the current dictator or how difficult it is because of a certain, all those things are true, but what is it that we can be happy and proud about with here? And what is it that makes us Americans? So yeah, I think Diane, of course, they're definitely both black and white, but I think you're referring to the fact that people were hung for things that they should not have been hung for if we are actually a truly a free nation in terms of the way that the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution that says. So, okay, let's keep it moving. I was just curious. I wanted to know what was
I want
going
to
on
know
there.
why I'm the only one that still have Christmas spirit around here.
We mean still, we ain't started yet. You
I
just
mean,
started
y'all
early.
Lights
Christmas
behind
is
you.
2 weeks away, and I don't see no Shonda. Where is your Santa hat? Where is your Christmas?
Excuse me,
spirit?
Ryan. Is this not a stocking? Is this not a Christmas stocking? Are
Oh, it
these not
is.
Oh,
Christmas
you're
lights?
right. Okay, okay,
I'm,
okay, okay.
I'm sorry. I don't because I have red and green. My Christmas is always purple and
It's
silver.
always purple. Here she go with this purple.
I don't
stuff.
understand. Do I have a right to have a purple and silver
Oh,
Christmas?
here
You
she
have
go
the
with
freedom to have
She's an
whatever
American.
Do I
stocking
have
you
that
want.
freedom? I
You
thought
do.
we're the land of free and the home of the brave.
You do, and you got
I'm
that
brave
stocking
enough
up.
to have a purple and silver Christmas.
I didn't
Oh
even see
my
it.
God. Diane said I
Camouflage.
am early. Diane, even last week, I had on my Santa. Every week of this month, Diane, I'm going to celebrate Christmas. I can't. Who else is out there? Look at everybody say hi to Rudolph. Hi, Rudolph.
Rudolph, there
Baby.
you go. I don't see the red nose, but
Hush.
nice. So I got to step it up. I got to get something in here in my background for the next episode. Cindy's hosting next week. I got to have something in the background because Sunday you got your camouflage stocking back there.
I want to change my background, honey. Cause
We got to come through and hook you up over the break, man. We're gonna hook your corner up a little bit. We're gonna tighten everything up. Technology
I don't want
speaking.
to talk no mouth.
See, I told you, TK. I told you I offered to go over there
Look at this. Look at
and
us.
hook up the
Look
technology.
at us, Diane. Isn't that cute? Oh my
I'm
God.
joking.
It's cute.
I'm joking, Ryan.
Let me know. I'm just trying to help you out. Christmas spirit. You know what I mean?
Wait,
All right,
This
last
my
comment.
This is my background now.
We got you. Robin just terms of like your technology, even though you stepped it up a lot since we started this season 2. You're looking
You
good.
see my
Oh,
background?
new
This is my
background.
background now.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to hear all about that.
Yes.
This is my background.
We're gonna hear all. I want to hear. All right, we're gonna move on from last comment on topic 1, and then I got a question for you, Sean. The last comment on topic 1. Relaxed state of mind says in Cuba they're arrested. That's a typo, which is odd from relaxed state of mind. But in Cuba, they're arrested. Oh no, it's not a typo. I'm just an idiot and can't read. In Cuba, they've arrested 12-year-old boys and younger, stripped from their mother's arms and sentenced to life, tortured for peacefully protesting. It's heartbreaking. So
Oh no.
protesting is another area in which, of course, we should have and do have the right here. Haven't always. Protesters have been. That same thing has happened to protesters in this country historically, but fundamentally, we should and do now finally have the right to peacefully protest. So just another one. I mean, these opportunities is what I mean by opportunities and possibilities. So that's just another point. Thank you so much. Relax, state of mind. Okay, so let's take off this banner here. And I want to hear from Shonda real quick. She's been hustling and bustling and doing. Give us an update on what you've been working on, what's going on, and what's happening with your family, and what's that background behind you. What's happening? What's going on? I know last week you talked about how Elijah had made a decision to enter the transfer portal. Talk to us.
So my baby child will cry.
Yes,
My
cry.
child is going to move to Dallas, Texas. He will be there. Classes start January 16th.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, so
That's
I'm
my nephew.
excited. And just a real quick synopsis of the school. So obviously, I'm pretty sure like some people, what is SMU? I had no idea either. Even when he was telling me he was interested, after finding out about it and everything, I'm like, what is that? So we went to go visit the school, and the school is a very good school. They're supported by millionaires and billionaires. It's a very expensive school, but they also have, but what drew me to them, they have a life after ball program. So they set them up to sit at tables with corporate people running businesses, and whether it's real estate, whether it's, whatever you want to do, they have people there and they set you up. They get you a suit. You go to these events, they get you a business card, and they sit you at these tables and you interview with them, and they help you get into the corporate world after football.
So it's like a fraternity, more than just a football. It's like a fraternity.
Whether you go to the NFL or not, or if you go to NFL and want to come back and do the life after ball, you're going to be set up. But however, Elijah, of course, wants to go to the NFL, so this is a business decision for him and his other teammates who committed. So 3 of them went this weekend and 3 of them committed this weekend. So there'll be 3 of them there. So he won't be alone. And also the good thing is there are like 5 or 6 coaches that came from UM that are there now who knew him and were, of course, raving about, they came to see us the first day he was in the portal, and they wanted to, talk to him and tell him how they want him to come. And it happened just that fast. They came to see us on Monday, and then we were in Texas on Friday. Wow. And then after walking around and visiting everything and talking to everybody, and it's a place where you just feel the connection with each other, the warmth, and everyone's polite. That I've been to Texas, are polite in Texas, and plus there's a need. That school needs to show people that you can come here from being a 4-star and a 3-star whatever player back in high school, still come here and win. So he needs film if he wants to the NFL. He needs to get on the field. Elijah said he wants his coaches to be able to depend on him. That's what he wants. So this is a great opportunity for him. Coach Thibodeau is awesome. He coached at Oklahoma for like 6 years, I believe, 7 years. And when they had a coaching change, he came back to Texas, where he lived. Coach Lashley, who is the head coach, was the OC at UM last year.
So he's got a lot of familiarity from the schemes to the coaching, and he's got a couple of players going out there with him. Oh, that's really good.
Exactly. Man. Yeah. So he has 2 more going, which is Jalen Knight, and he was the running back here, and then Jordan Miller, who was a D tackle. And they're cool and they get along, and that's
Rooster's going out there to SMU too?
Oh yeah, Rooster's going.
Wow.
Rooster's gonna be there. Yes.
Wow. Okay,
going.
Good for them, man. Good for them.
Yeah,
we'll be watching
I'm excited.
All right, so everybody listening tonight, we're rooting for SMU. We got to root for SMU. That's family now.
Small my nephew.
Good stuff.
And pray for me, honey, because I'm gonna cry come January.
She'll cry, yeah. Her boy will come back a grown man. Gonna be in Dallas.
You gotta fly to Texas now, Ryan.
So
we gotta hear the story.
I'm gonna tell y'all after the show about my flight. Oh, I cried.
What airline did y'all take?
American Airlines.
All right. I thought it was one of them. We get in trouble.
No, it was a big one. It had the 3 rows with the TV. It was fancy.
Okay.
But I still cried.
Nice. Congrats. All right. For the sake of time, let's jump into topic 2. And this one might be a rather quick one. But I was curious about this one as well. All right. So topic 2, basically another question. What does it mean to wear the cross? Now, I want to preface this question with what I mean by that. And I want to hear from you ladies, and I want to hear from everybody in the comments. But let me explain what I'm talking about when I say, what does it mean to wear the cross? Obviously, first glance, what you're going to think is I'm saying, well, what does it mean to be Christian? And that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, what does it literally technically mean? So before we had an open-ended question in terms of like, what does it mean to be an American? What can we agree on? But I'm asking you all, and of course it's going to be your all's opinion. What does it mean, technically speaking, and maybe religiously speaking? But I want to know. I'm not someone who considers himself a Christian. I'm not Christian. You ladies are, right? Proud Christians,
Yes,
obviously.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I just want to know technically, what does it mean when a person decides to wear a cross, whether it be a cross on their jewelry, a tattoo of a cross, or cross on their clothing? What does that mean when they wear a cross? And the reason I'm asking this question, or should I wait before I tell you what the reason is that I'm asking this question?
I think you should wait.
I will wait, but I'm asking you all ladies right now, what does it mean for me and for people listening? What does it mean, obviously, to you two? What does it mean for someone, or when someone wears a cross?
I mean, I don't have no deep answer. I just wear it because I am a Christian, and for me, it symbolifies and reminds me of Jesus dying on the cross for my sins. So that's why I wear the cross. There's no deep reason. Like I don't wear it to ward off evil.
So do you think when you see someone else wear it, naturally you think, well, that's why they're wearing it too?
I never really thought about it.
That's what I'm wondering about. You did?
Not when someone else wears it. When I see, okay, so let me take that back. When I see someone who is not, or who is an avid atheist wear it, then I'm confused, because I have seen that before. So I'm not gonna ask them, but I'm like, well, why wear the cross if does? But then again, maybe it means something else to them. So that's the only time I've questioned it. When I've seen someone who I know is an atheist wear a cross, have cross earrings, cross necklace, whatever. But like I said, for me, it's just because it just reminds me, it's my reminder, it's my symbol.
For sure.
That I serve Jesus Christ.
For sure. Okay. TK?
I'm just confused because I've only known it my entire life to be a symbol of Christianity. So to hear that people wear it and they're not a Christian, like, why are they wearing it then? Like, that lets me know that you are a Christian. If I saw a cross on your necklace or on your shirt, that is you saying that you are a Christian. There's even crosses on the back of the car. That's the symbol to let people know that you are a Christ follower. So I guess I'm just a little confused that it means something else other than that.
Don't know. But the reason for the question was because I had some confusion about the fact that I know for a fact there are people that I know are not Christian, don't consider themselves Christian, who wear the cross. And I'm like, what does it mean? Is one, is it just a perception thing for them? Two, are there rules about this? Like, what should they know that by wearing this cross, it means something that they don't like? I was just going to explore that because that is confusing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Did that happen over the weekend? Like, you saw some?
Oh no, this has been years. This is years and years. I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen this with different people over the years. You know, and of course, I had to have known them intimately to make that statement. Obviously, because people can change, and maybe people are, and they don't think that they are. But I think that what it sounds like to me is that anybody who wears the cross, it would be an external representation of their internal faith. Mm-hmm. That's what that is, right? That's basically symbolism that expresses what your internal faith is, what your
Christianity,
religion. Christianity, your religion is, right? That's why it's confusing to me. I mean, I don't know if it's just a matter of. So here's the thing, and this is more speculation. You think there are people out there that think, well, if I wear this cross, that makes me Christian?
Or they want people to think they are, I guess.
Right.
But there's some people who literally wear the cross to ward off evil. They think it's going to keep evil away from them.
Even if they have not given themselves to Christ.
Even if. There are people that do.
There are people that think that 6 rotten apples on the sidewalk in a circle will ward off evil too.
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
Yeah, TK, you just now finding out about it. Yeah, these people, man. It's like It's way too many of them. But yeah, no, it's a lot of people, man. That's what I'm saying. I was curious. I was just interested to see if there was any conversation about what does it mean? What's in anybody in the comments? What's it mean to wear the cross?
I mean,
What's
I
Sarah
could
say?
just tell you that what the cross means in a biblical stand,
Uh-huh.
that is the sacrifice that he made for our sins. And
Uh-huh.
so then we can even get into that symbol. Sometimes you see the cross with Jesus on it, and then sometimes you see the cross with him not on it. And so at the end of the day, when I see the cross, it's us, a symbol of Christianity and Jesus, that he died on the cross for he sacrificed. God sacrificed his only son for us. And so I wear it because I believe in that.
And what that
But
represents.
you know what's crazy is I won't wear the cross with him on it.
Yeah, I haven't either. I
won't wear the cross with him on. I don't judge them by they do. I just won't. I'm not gonna wear the cross with him.
I think it's
on it.
more
Well,
of a
the
Catholic
symbol of
thing.
him on it.
That's a personal thing, though, right?
Yeah, I've seen Catholics. The Catholic religion has Jesus on it.
Yeah.
And Christ followers of Christianity, we have I don't wear the one with Jesus on it.
Because to me, he's not. I mean,
he rose again.
Stay there, right? He's not on there anymore. So from in my mind, and I'm not judging anybody. Please,
celebrating him being on it for that little bit of time. That's
right.
Yeah, what you
right.
doing?
So
some people believe he died, but then there's he rose again 3 days later.
Right. So the cross was empty. So that's why I wear the cross. But
right. Interesting. I want to throw that one by you. I didn't know how long that conversation would go.
I just want to know who you saw wear this cross, and they wasn't like, why did they wear it? Did you ask?
Yeah, I mean, just peep Instagram. They're wearing it like a. Do you
think it's like a trend? Maybe
like an accessory. I mean, it's just like an accessory. So I didn't know what that's about. If there are like, there are rules to this thing. Like if I
know when you're coming to Calvary. Okay.
Ooh.
I tell you this much: when I do go to Calvary, I won't be wearing a cross.
That's all right.
I ain't out here pump faking. I know that. I'm not. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's my thing. If I'm aware, I'm gonna be all in. But if I'm not, I'm not gonna fake represent. Like that's what I don't understand. I don't understand people who are, is that someone who doesn't want to commit themselves, to give their life to Christ, but yet still wants the perks of what they know the benefits are of. Like, I don't understand. I'm throwing it out there. I'm trying to see what maybe the different angles are. But TK says she didn't even know people were doing that. Hello. Yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it. I mean, you wouldn't really have any way of knowing unless you know somebody personally that is not a Christian. And the next thing you know, boom, they wearing it. What's George saying? You can't fool me, bro. I've been here too long.
You ain't supposed to be watching me. Just talk
I'm
what
watching
you're
everything,
about.
Man. Hey, stay ready. Honestly, you ain't got to get ready. Ryan said earlier.
No, Janaya just came and showed me another player committed to SMU. Keyshawn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Keyshawn Smith. I'm sorry. Because there's two Keyshawns. I didn't want to get the wrong name. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, that's what I have for topic 2. I was just curious. I want to run it by you ladies. I know that you obviously you stand in Christ. I didn't know where you all stood with the fact that people are wearing the cross and do not consider themselves Christian. It was confusing to me.
What they do?
I didn't know if there are rules to this or what's going on. I mean, is that a you go to hell, do not pass go, do not collect $200? Is that automatic? What's that about?
Trust me, that cross ain't gonna wearing that cross ain't gonna get you in heaven, and not wearing the cross ain't gonna put you in hell. So do as you see.
Okay, fair enough.
Do as you see fit.
Okay, all right. Enough. Shonda, you gonna do the corner?
I don't cuss out some people wearing a cross. So
yes, she did
while wearing a cross. Wow.
Not intentionally. Listen, that's why he died for my sins.
Exactly. You're forgiven. You're forgiven.
I was the first one he died for because he know this child right here.
You forget.
In church.
Okay, now you gonna lie. TK, don't be telling the story.
Yes, she did.
No, I did not.
She caught herself. Hey, well, keep me posted if you run across it, man. Bring it back. I told you first. They doing it. They out there. You gonna do your corner, Shonda?
Yes.
All right, let's go to the corner.
A piece of it.
Let's go to the corner.
Child, this corner is impromptu for the night. Good evening, everyone, and sorry for my tardiness, but thank you all for joining us again on this wonderful, beautiful Monday evening. So I have a few things. This is in February, but I'm telling you now because we're starting it. This is our annual Teen Summit. As you know, this will be our 5th Teen Summit. I'm so proud of Paying the Purpose. So our 15th Summit. So I'm posting it because I want you all to start thinking about it, registering your groups, registering your children. It's a family event. It's not just for teens. It will be Saturday, February 25th. 2023 from 9 to 3 a.m. It's a free event, absolutely free. All we need you to do is go online to pain2purpose76.org to register. We will have lunch, giveaways, entertainment, and it is at the same place at JL and Enid W. Demps Park. Please go to our website for information, pain2purpose76.org. And also this weekend, there will be Jazz in the Heights Holiday Edition, honey. Saturday, December 17th from 6 to 10 p.m., honey. We getting real bougie down here in the South area. It is put on by our Commissioner Keone L. McGee. And I believe the host for that night is none other than TK Owens. Let's give her a round of applause because TK be doing big things for the community. Go ahead, TK. So I am so happy. I think I'm gonna come. I'm not sure because I have another event, but I'm gonna try to come. Girl, don't do that. I'm gonna try to come my best and be there to support my girl because I love her so much. And she doesn't know this. I kind of asked her, but I think she's gonna be hosting our annual Teen Summit. Aren't you, TK? Tell the people that you will be our host for the annual Teen Summit. Go ahead and make it official. Go ahead. And then one of our speakers for the event will be none other than the Ryan David. Let's give him a round of applause.
He just putting us on the spot.
I knew that was coming, man. I didn't want to invite myself, but I was waiting. I was like, here comes a plug.
Ryan, did she even ask us?
Nope.
She didn't even ask us.
Yes, she did.
Y'all can't tell me no in front of company. Y'all
she know what she's doing. I checked my calendar, though. I'm not going to lie. I damn sure looked at the February 24th.
Okay, so that means you're available.
I gotta check it again. No, you know I gotta do that for you, Shonda. I can't tell you no in front of folks.
Oh my God.
But I don't know what I'm doing.
Y'all so much.
You gotta tell me what I'm doing. We'll
figure it out as long as you're on board. As long as you're on board, I'll find you something to do. Don't even worry about it.
She haven't paid me in 3 years.
I pay you with the love.
Paying was never even in the conversation for me, but that's good to know.
I get paid to do this, Ryan.
Listen, Ryan came 1 year and he's been stuck ever since. It's your 3rd year now, Ryan, right?
Simeon tricked my ass. Simeon said, "Hey, come on, do this with me with Shonda. I'll introduce you." First year, did it. Me and Simeon. Next year, Shonda invite both of us back. Simeon said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go." He don't show. I'm stuck every year. He gone.
So this your 3rd year or 4th?
I mean, I want to say this would probably be my 4th, right?
Yeah.
There one year you didn't do it 1 year because of COVID, right?
Right. Yeah. 2020 we did do it.
So I did it 3 other. I did it 3 other times.
Yeah. That's where I met you, Ryan.
Yes, correct.
See how these connections work? Look at this. I am a connector. Call me Queen Connector.
Where's my check?
I was gonna say that check ain't connecting, but I got you. We'll talk about what we're doing.
Listen, Jesus paid it all.
All right, there you go. Even if you're not wearing a cross. All right, that's the corner. That's the corner. Thank you for the corner. Hey, we're gonna finish on time tonight. We're gonna close out with TK's motivational moment. We're gonna close out on time tonight. So TK, let's hear a little bit of what you have for us. We're not gonna put comments over your.
Of course. Where's my jingle, Shonda? I just get no
jingle bell, jingle bell. Oh.
Look at her.
That is not the jingle.
Is apple juice?
Yes.
Is apple juice with rocks?
Apple juice with Sprite.
Okay.
George made it. George. Hi, everybody. It is Monday. It is time for Motivational Monday. And I actually had this quote last week, and we all know, and I don't quote me on this. Has it been, guys? Ryan, let me ask you, has it been 3 years since Kobe's death or 2?
Kobe died about a month before COVID jumped off. It was the same, like that's what they say. It was punishment for the world because Kobe died or whatever. So it was February of 2020.
Wow.
January of 2020.
And we all know that he was an amazing professional athlete, and that he always had, and they called him Mamba. And I actually found this quote, and it actually helped me a lot because I'm actually going to talk about something that I just could not come to grasp with. And this is Mamba's mentality. He says, and I quote, learn to love the hate, embrace it, enjoy it, you earned it. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and everyone should have one about you. Haters are good problems to have. Nobody hates the good ones, they hate the great ones. And that is by Kobe. One of the hardest things, Shonda and Ryan, that I still am trying to grasp in this world is that not everyone is going to like you. And I was like, oh my God, like, what did I do? Like, everybody likes TK. Like, who is this person that doesn't like me? And the first thing I could think of is like, okay, what did I do to this person? I'm always worried about what I did to the person and worried about their feelings. I'm so empathetic to worry about other people's feelings before my own. But you got to realize that we're all different in this world, and not everyone is going to like things about you. I was even told that I'm so happy all the time that someone thought that I was fake. And Shonda will be the first one to tell you I'm like this all the time. Like, this is just me. I am the over the
It's
top.
annoying. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Let me go on mute.
You see what I'm saying? And I'd rather be, thank you, since I'm annoying. I'd rather be annoying and positive than to be this negative person that gossips all the time. I mean, I do get it in. Shonda, no, we be on. However, I don't do it all the time. But when Shonda call me and say, sis.
Don't put me in there. I don't be gossiping.
Nah, don't try.
But Ryan, I don't know about you guys, but at one time I actually even talked about this on the show. And I want to ask you guys, sometimes does it bother you what people say about you? That's my question to Ryan. You're first. What people say about your reputation, or just what if they just say,
yeah, of course. Anybody who says no off top is lying. So the question is, how much you gonna let it bother you, and how long?
Yes.
So it should bother you initially, because it should be, hey, there might be something there you need to pay attention to. Hold on a second, and maybe it's a truth that you didn't want to hear, and now you need to hear it. So of course, the question is, are you going to be able to be objective enough to not get emotional about what you hear and learn from it and take it and move forward? Are you going to be able to remember that you're not actually going to be able to necessarily maybe change in the way that they want you to change, but you could add it to what you're doing? Like, yeah, of course. And you got to have a standard for yourself, and you're always striving for that standard, and feedback from other people make you think about that standard. But of course, I think it's people who I did, like I told you, we've talked about this before, and Shauna, I'll let you throw your 2 cents in there, but I did a YouTube video, and it was why you should care what other people think about you, because to a certain extent they have value in their feedback. I think what happens is people don't have the security and the stability and the sense of self that's strong enough to accept it and listen to what it actually is without going over the edge. So what they do is just block everybody out. I don't care. They have this, it doesn't matter what anybody says. Doesn't matter to me. I mean, like I told you, that's what we teach kids. Don't worry about what anybody's telling you, because you're still fragile as a kid. You don't want to let that infiltrate. But as an adult, of course it bothers me. I mean, I get reviews as a professor. Does it not bother me if I run across a negative review? Absolutely. Why? Because I care about my performance and I want to be the best I can be. But do I read that a couple of times, then talk to some people, then think about it and be like, you know what? I'll take it with a grain of salt and keep it moving, and you can't please everybody. I'll say this one thing, and then Shonda, you can jump in. To your point, TK, and to the quote, Kobe's my favorite player. And a lot of the reason why was because of his mentality, and he played ball along, with the mentality. You can see a lot of his mentality with the way he played. But one of the most important lessons I ever learned, TK, was early on as a coach, when I started to get into creating my website and jumping into coaching and speaking, and, like, I guess business, if you will, owning my own business, was not everybody's ready to buy what you're selling. I had to learn. I wanted to reach everybody with my message. I want to reach everybody with what I had to talk about. I had these strategies that were life changing. I wanted everybody. And it's like, not everybody's ready to buy what you're selling, and you're not going to reach everybody. And so for me, that was really, really disheartening, because it's like, wait a second, what am I doing wrong that you're not open to listening to what I have to give you? Because it'll help you. It's just that they're not ready. And so, and some of them actually might reject it because it makes them look at themselves in that moment in a negative light. And the last thing I'll say actually is, well, first of all, not everybody's willing to buy what you're selling, but as for the haters are concerned, and Kobe's not don't get it twisted. Kobe's not saying go out and create haters, make people hate you.
Right,
No, he's saying
right.
he's saying be yourself, and when you are yourself, there are going to be people who will talk about you, put you down, and hate on you. And what I'm going to add to that is, if you do not have quote unquote haters, you're doing something wrong, because you're
Come on
not
now.
doing enough or being enough for people to think about themselves and look at you and themselves and reflect, because that's where the hate comes from. They think about themselves when they see you. So
Right.
very good. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Shonda, what about you? Does it bother you what people have to say about you?
It bothers me when it's a lie. I don't like people lying on me.
That's for
That's
sure.
one thing that pisses me off to my core. And I'm still working on not
Hmm.
having to check you when you're lying on me. Don't lie on me, because I tell on myself. I'm the first one to tell on me. You ain't gonna lie on me. So, but when people do say things about me that I do need to pay attention to, I take heed to it. But then there are some people who may not like that I'm loud, and sometimes they may not like that, my personality. But then that's the one thing that some people love. Like TK loves my personality. So
Yeah,
there's some, and Nikki, the people like that love me and love how I am. Some people are like, oh, she's too loud. I can't stand it. I can't help that. I'm not going to
that's you.
change those things about me, because that's the one thing people fall in love with me for, is who I am, and because I'm genuine. So yes, sometimes it does bother me, and I will take heed to things, especially if I've done something or said something to hurt somebody, even if I
Hmm.
didn't mean to. I will take heed to that. So I do listen. Sometimes you got to brush some stuff off and keep going. It just depends on what is said, and who said it.
Shonda, you know what else, Shonda? What I've taken solace in, the fact that they probably don't know me.
Right.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
always what I remind
Right.
myself of. You know what? They don't really know me. You know, if
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
knew me, they wouldn't think that. And I know that because of everyone who does know me that doesn't think that. And it's like, that's just deductive reasoning. But yeah, I always remind myself, they don't really truly know your heart,
Yeah.
and you definitely don't know your heart like you do. So just remember that.
Right.
And
Right.
I
Right.
get that a lot, Ryan. I get, oh, she's so stuck up, or she's sedity, or she's bougie. And I may be a little bougie, just a little bit. But when you get to know me, they're like, oh my God, she is so cool. Like, that's just, don't judge by how I look when I walk into a room. Get to know me. Please do not take these looks for granted, because I am just probably one of the most caring and funny and just larger than life personality or person I can be. And I probably annoy a lot of people to be so happy, but this is who I am. And you surround yourself around like-minded people just like you. I believe that attraction happens that way. 9 times out
Mhm.
of 10, your friends are just like you. And
Right. And to that point, if you numb yourself down or dumb yourself down or suppress who you really are,
mhm,
then to please others, right? If
right.
you do that, then you're never going to attract people who are like you, because you're not being you.
Come
So
on in.
you're stifling your growth as well at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that
Good
with the
stuff.
world. That's actually one of my steps in the book. And it's nothing new. I didn't write that, but I'm going to always remind you is to be you. Always be you. Because
Yeah.
the people who love you will stay. And the
Yeah,
people who don't, let them leave. Bye.
for sure.
Peace.
Speaking
So
of bye,
back
let
to
them leave.
you.
Yeah, speaking of bye, let them leave. We're done. Go ahead and promote that show for me, TK.
There you are. You can catch us every Monday night at 8 p.m. live on YouTube and Facebook. So make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Talk Miami Talk Show. Make sure you also subscribe to that YouTube channel, and make sure you hit that little bell to make sure you get reminders every Monday night that we're going live. And then after Monday night, you can always listen to us conveniently in your car or while you're working out on the Talk Miami podcast, because you can listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts at Talk Miami Talk Show. Back to you, Ryan.
There you have it. That's it. Any last words this evening before we go? Cindy's hosting next Monday night. We'll look for everybody that's out there to listen. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate you as always. Good to hear from some of you guys in the chat. And like I say, without you guys, there's no us. So appreciate y'all. And anybody listening to the replay, leave a comment. Let us know what you
Oh,
think about
can I
tonight's
make one
topic.
more announcement, Ryan?
Absolutely, please do.
Since we have more people, at the beginning, I announced Cindy will be back next week. We are playing game night, the holiday edition. Can y'all please wear y'all Christmas stuff? Shonda and Ryan next week.
I
Thank you.
got you.
And
I
then
got you.
after that,
'Cause we're off for 2 weeks.
we are
It's gonna be
taking
purple.
Look at this girl. Then after that, guys, we are off for the rest of the year. We will be back on January 9th. Dr. Shonda is bringing us back into the new year. Are you ready for 2023, Shonda?
Yes, I am. I'm
23,
ready
baby.
to be going to Texas every week, honey.
Oh boy.
I'm ready to act the fool, watch my baby show out. Yes, I'm ready. I may move to Texas.
Oh,
Okay,
Lord. Don't you
okay.
leave me. You can't leave.
Girl, I ain't
Did
going
we
nowhere.
have this conversation?
Only because Gigi's still in school, I won't leave. But if she wasn't, baby, I'd be gone.
You are not leaving me.
Good night, everybody. We're out.
All right, ladies.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Wanna live with you. I just wanna love you.
Good
Good
stuff.
night. Bye,
Joining us.
everybody.
Shonda, we thought you weren't coming. Good night, everybody. Love y'all.
Love y'all.